Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my opinion. And we're just past the halfway stage of this year's IPL, and I'll be doing something that I didn't do the previous time around, and that is naming my team of the tournament so far. But before I get on to that, briefly touching on today's game, we saw the Kolkata Knight Riders complete the double over the Royal Challengers Bangalore, beating them by 21 runs. Virat Kohli after the game said that they gave the game to their opposition, and I thought he could have added one more thing to that statement, giving it some more truth. And that was the fact that at the toss, like I mentioned so many times today, when he was asked what he would do, he said, evening game in the Chinnaswamy, no brainer, will bowl first. And straight away, I thought it's a no brainer as to who's going to win the game. And I think this mistake at the toss where we've seen a lot of the times where teams have chose bowling first when they shouldn't have, it's creating a level playing field where you've got teams such as the Rajasthan Royals where they should be winning almost every game and have somehow managed to lose three because of the wrong tactical calls. So it is creating a level playing field, and I've already said what I need to say on that in a previous video, so I won't go into that here, but I don't think we'll see the end of this mistake. Starting off with my 11, the first out of the two openers will be someone who I'm sure many people have in their team of the tournament so far. He'll also be the captain of this side, and that is Faf du Plessis. I referred to him in my RCB preview video as being evergreen, and since 2018 he's been a legend in the franchise T20 League circuit. An expectedly brilliant contribution this time around as well. 422 runs in 8 games, averaging 60 or so, and striking at above 160. I think he has one of the highest power play strike rates in the competition at 168. And he's been a vital component of this RCB batting lineup. I mean, yes, you've got Virat Kohli and Glenn Maxwell alongside him, but I feel the best of those two is brought out when Faf du Plessis bats a decent amount of time. And especially in the case of Glenn Maxwell, we've seen that each of his 50 plus scores have come when Faf du Plessis has batted alongside him. So a vital component of this batting lineup, and I feel under his captaincy, yes, the calls of the toss haven't been great, and a few impact calls, especially earlier on in the competition, weren't too great. But in general, I think the team has been going in the right direction under his captaincy. I'm sure he will be continuing to contribute with the bat as well, so that's on him. The second out of the two openers being effectively the former's replacement at CSK, and that is Devon Conway. 314 runs, averaging 52 for him. And we've seen in the past where the CSK, the opening partnership has been a huge reason why they have succeeded. We saw recently how the partnership between Rudraj Gaikwad and Faf du Plessis went, and I think Devon Conway is a great replacement, someone that could provide a lot of runs over the course of a season. And I think at the start, you had Rudraj Gaikwad scoring those two back-to-back 50 scores, and then he scored 30s and 40s after the two failures. And during that time, Devon Conway has taken the lead in getting the biggest scores, and I think he's got 450-plus scores in a row. So an expectedly great season thus far, and I don't think anyone would have a problem with the two selections that I've mentioned at the top of the order. And number 3 being Ajinkya Rahane. And I think in terms of people saying, has this been a resurgence? I don't think it has, simply because he's always exhibited these traits when you've given him that opportunity. I still think he is best suited at the top of the order, and he has the highest strike rate in the power play in this season so far, 222, and I think that was a lot to do with especially how he went against the Mumbai Indians in that game. But he has struck at quite quickly in the power play that we have seen over quite some years. And a surprise in my view is the fact that how well he's played spin. We saw against the Rajasthan Royals, even though CSK lost that game, he's got 31 off 19 and even hit Ravichandran Ashwin, a bowler that he has struggled against over the course of the IPL. He hit him for a 6 over extra covers. So I've been surprised as to how he's gone against spin, even on turning tracks. And I think a number 3 to strike at 199. And for someone like him, who we've seen open the batting a lot of the time, to face 105 deliveries over 5 innings and strike at almost 200. It's a role that we've seen him go aggressively, but we haven't seen him play this role. So I wouldn't say this is a resurgence. He's just taken the qualities that he already possesses to a different level. And yeah, I think him being a number 3, giving quick fire contributions at least whenever he walks out to bat. And the innings that he played against Mumbai and the innings that he played against KKR were just simply brilliant. And now at number 4 in Tilak Verma. Now you may think, has he had a standout season? But in my view, yes, he scored the 84 against the Royal Challengers Bangalore first up. And I think he's played some intelligent cameo innings, especially, for example, the innings against the Delhi Capitals where the Mumbai Indians secured their first win. He's either batted at 4 or 5, and I feel with Cameron Green batting at 3, yes, he's gone okay, and he's gone well in the last 3 games or so. But I think that it means that Tilak Verma has to bat at number 5, and that means he wouldn't get an opportunity at his best slot. So I think he probably will have to deal with the fact that Cameron Green would bat at 3, and that may mean he doesn't get as great of an opportunity or as tailor-made of an opportunity as he does if he batted in the top 4. But I'm sure he will make use of whatever opportunity that he gets. And I feel, yes, he hasn't had kind of as standout of a season compared to the others, but averaging 36, striking at 154. And I've described him as well as a few other players as being technicians. I feel that he does demonstrate those traits. So to produce those kind of numbers when you don't really know where you're going to bat on the day. We've seen him bat at 3, we've seen him bat at 5. So I think he's been great so far. I'm sure he will continue. And an India call-up, I'm sure it isn't too far away. At number 5, I got Rinku Singh. Now, we saw the heroics that he pulled off against the Gujarat Titans. 41 required off 8, and I don't think we'll see a finish like that in quite some time. And I'm not surprised that this has been a very good season for him. I've mentioned his domestic record in quite a few videos, and he showed a few glimpses even in the previous season with that knock against the Lucknow Super Giants in their last group game. But in this season, he's got some 40s and 50s, mostly in a losing cause, but we have seen heroics, for example, against the Gujarat Titans and also against the Royal Challengers Bangalore, where alongside Shardul Thakur, they both resurrected the innings from 89 for 5. So you've seen some consistent contributions from him, and I think they've been batting him too low. At times you've seen Sunil Narayan open the batting or bat at 3 or 4, and it hasn't made sense at all. And it's displaced players like Rinku Singh in the batting lineup. So he's been brilliant thus far, and I think, a deserved selection at number 5. And at number 6, I've gone with Sam Curran. Now, if you hadn't watched the Punjab Kings play this season and you looked at his bowling stats, you may think, well, 5 wickets in 7 games. But watching him play, we've seen the impact that he has had in the side. He was bought as an impact player, which he is. And I think that he was bought for his batting at number 7 or at 6 on a good day and his death bowling. We've seen how he's gone with the England side off late at the death. And we've seen especially the over against the Rajasthan Royals where a Shimron Hetmeyer and a Dhruv Jurel going very well. The momentum is with the Rajasthan Royals and he bowls a top class over and helps his side win the game. And in the absence of Shikhar Dhawan, I think it is the calls that he's taken at the toss haven't really made too much sense. I feel like he's chosen to bowl first a few times, especially against LSG. I thought they got lucky, even though it was a very good win for them. And against the Royal Challengers Bangalore, we saw that decision backfire. But he hasn't really captained a lot in his professional career thus far. And I think with how he's gone with both ball and recently with the bat, I thought before this innings against the Mumbai Indians, he hadn't done too much with the bat. He struck at about a run a ball. But with the innings that he played against the Mumbai Indians, helping change the course of how that game was going alongside Harpreet Bhatia, I think that the impact player that we thought we were getting, I think he has delivered so far this competition, and I'm sure he will continue to deliver. And at number 7, I've gone for Ravichandran Ashwin. Now, we saw the previous season where I think he got 12 wickets in the previous season, and the economy rate will always be good. He struck at 141. This year, at the halfway stage, he has struck at slightly more than that. Hasn't batted too much. Faced 39 balls and scored 56 runs. And with a ball, 9 wickets in 7 games. But what I've been really impressed about this season is the fact that whether he's bowled on a track which aids the spinners or on a batting track, he's got around that 2 for 20 odd performance as his stock performance. And even if he has gone for runs at times in his first 2 overs, he's brought things back. So I think we've expectedly seen the kind of the more crafty side of Rajan Ashwin, where he knows how to manage no matter what situation you give him, and that batting strike rate has been around 140. So a deserved inclusion in this 11. I would like to see him back in the national side in terms of the white ball squads for India, and let's see how that goes. But if I were them, I wouldn't have dropped him in the first place. And with what he's shown in this tournament so far, he further reinstates that I think he should get into the white ball squads. And at number 8, I've gone with Piyush Chawla. Now, in my preview for the Mumbai Indians, I thought I would have gone for maybe either him or Shams Mulani to start off as the lead spinner. I thought that Shams Mulani has had a brilliant domestic season and he can bat as well. I thought since Piyush Chawla hadn't played for some time, I thought, how would he go? He's bowled 27 overs across 7 games, and in the most recent game against the Gujarat Titans, he for some reason only bowled 3 out of his 4 overs, even though he got 215 in his 3. 11 wickets and a corner rate of 7.11. He's been fantastic. He's been the best bowler for them by country mile rating. And I think we've seen that he's been an IPL legend, and if I made my all-time 11 for the IPL, he would make that side. He's got over 150 wickets, and he hasn't got bucket loads of wickets. He's been a steady accumulator of those wickets, but he's got 1 or 2 wickets on most occasions, and the economy rate has always been good, and we've seen that this season as well. So a fantastic season from him thus far, and with the Mumbai side that we've seen in the last few games is expectedly unravelled in terms of the seam bowling department at the death, I feel Piyush Chawla's performances will be needed in the rest of the season. And at number 9, I've gone with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Now, I was thinking Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Mohammad Shami. The reason why I've gone with Bhuvneshwar Kumar is because, yes, Mohammad Shami, in terms of the way he set the tone in the power play, you could say he's probably been better in that regard. But having said that, I feel Bhuvneshwar Kumar has got 6 wickets or so in 7 games, but I feel that watching him bowl, he's just been fantastic. We saw in the previous game 2 for 11 in his 4, swings the ball up front and bowls well to death as well. There was a question as to the fact that he had lost some death bowling form from the Asia Cup 2022 onwards for a bit of time, and I expectedly thought that he would go well at the death in this season, and he has done so far. So I think simply because of the fact that you're looking at the Gujarat Titans attack and thinking you've got, apart from Mohammad Shami, you've got a Rashid Khan, you've got a Hardik Pandya playing fantastically well with a new ball. You've got a SRH attack where, like I said, they don't have that wicket-taking spinner as such. Yes, Mayank Markande got a 4-4 against Punjab, but he isn't really a wicket-taker usually. He's an economical bowler that may take 1 or 2 wickets on the day. And I think in that case, you've got a Bhuvneshwar Kumar and a Tina Trajan that have had to lead the attack. And I think Bhuvneshwar Kumar has done that very well. So that's the reason why he's got into my side. And Trent bowled, 3 first over maidens. He's got an economy rate of under 6 in the power play, one of the best. And I think with how he's gone so far, he did walk into this team as the lead bowler up front. You've got 3 bowlers there, especially with the player that I've got as the number 11 in my 11, where those 3 will be fantastic with a new ball, but I think they all do get into the side. Trent Bolt has been expectedly fantastic, and they've used him very well up front. I've not agreed with the Rajasthan Royals tactics so far in some aspects, especially with how they've gone about the toss and structuring their batting lineup. But with Trent Bolt bowling 3 up front and being used as an attacking option, I think has been quite a good bit of tactics from them. And it's something that I think most people would do considering his record. So that's on him. My favourite fast bowler, like I've said before, and he once again has been producing some great performances. And finally, Mohammad Siraj. Now, we've seen in the ODI side where him bowling with a new ball, he's been brilliant. And even at the death of late, I thought in the ODI side, you saw signs of him being able to adapt. But in the IPL, the most of the damage has come with the new ball. I think he's got an economy rate of 4.8 in the power play thus far, and he's really added that edge to the RCB attack in the power play. He's been unplayable in my view, and I think that even at the death we've seen has been much improved than how he went before. You saw how he went against the Punjab Kings as well. So, and even against the Lucknow Super Giants, I think with especially how we set the tone up front helped the fact that in a high scoring game he finished with 3 for 22 in his 4 overs. So we've seen probably the best of Mohammad Siraj in this season than we ever have seen of him, and with him bowling well with the new ball, you've got a Mohammad Shami also doing what he's doing as well, and you've got Arshdeep Singh as well. So I think in terms of the bowlers that are going to open the bowling for India in the ODI World Cup, that will be quite a bit of competition there, I think, especially between Siraj and Arshdeep. Now on the honourable mentions, as I said, I couldn't include Mohammad Shami in the starting 11, but looking at what he did the previous season, 20 wickets in 16 games going at 8 and over. And for an attacking bowler, bowling 3 in the power play, I think especially for him personally, where he had never had a season going at that low of a economy rate overall in the IPL, and especially when he was playing for Punjab. So for him to go from what he was doing at Punjab to what he did, what he's done for the Gujarat Titans in the previous season and in this one so far, I think it's been a phenomenal honing of his skills. I thought the skills were there, but they didn't quite come to fruition at the Punjab Kings in the way that he would have liked them to. I think he is bowling the best now than he ever has, and in my view, he is the best fast bowler in the world. And this season, 10 wickets in 7 games, going at a lower economy rate. And we've seen the partnership that he has formed with Hardik Pandya with the new ball. So he's actually doing better so far in the first half than he did overall in the previous year. And if things go by how they are going by, then he's set for another at least 20 wicket season at a very good economy rate, especially for a bowler that looks to attack up front. So that's on him. If 2 years ago or so, if you told me that Mohammad Shami would go at 8 or less across a season, I would not have believed you. But he has, and I think it's been a great improvement in his game. On Ravi Bishnoi, yes, he didn't have a great game against the Gujarat Titans recently, but his economy rate of 7.77 is only elevated to that much because he went at above 12 and over in his recent game. And he's not been a prolific wicket taker as such thus far in the last season and a half, but I feel he's got the traits of being a wicket taker, which is why whenever he bowls, I feel like he's going to take a wicket. He's been a very enjoyable bowler to watch, and I don't know why he was dropped from the side after his performance in the Asia Cup against Pakistan, 1 for 26. And in my view, he should have been the starting wrist spinner, I think, in the T20 World Cup. But yes, you could say with how the team went with batting depth, they played Akshay Patel, Ravichandran and Ashwin. But the fact that you've got someone that bowled that well against Pakistan and he gets dropped for so long and still hasn't played for the game for India since, I think is ridiculous. So, expectedly done well this season, and I'm sure we will see him do well in the rest of the tournament as well. And hopefully that India call will come up soon. And on Glenn Maxwell, I didn't expect him to be this good this season. I think especially when Faf du Plessis has batted with him, he has been brilliant. 350 striking 186.95. And I think we saw him be injured for quite a while, had been in a bit of patchy form. And if you combine those two factors to walk out here in this season and do what he's done, it's been an incredible performance thus far. Like I said, he would be helped if Faf du Plessis continued the way he has been going. And I think there's a lot of pressure on Faf du Plessis in this lineup. I think on Glenn Maxwell, if Faf du Plessis is dismissed and then Maxwell does what he does, even if he scores a 50 or so, I think that will give himself and RCB more confidence that they've got that insurance policy. He's been going great so far, and let's see what he does in the rest of the games, but I'm sure he will go well too. Mayank Markanday has been one of the surprises of this season. You could arguably say he's been the biggest surprise of this season. He's a good bowler, yes, but we saw after what he did with the Mumbai Indians, he went to the Rajasthan Royals and didn't get too much of an opportunity. And I think in this case, getting a 4-for in his first game against the Punjab Kings, and in a lineup where they don't really have a wicket-taking spinner as such, I think he's their best spinner by far as of now. And I think if they're looking to do something on a turning track, Is he the most offensive weapon? No, he isn't. But I think that he certainly has been bowling brilliantly this season, and he is their lead spinner by far. If you've got him alongside Bhuvneshwar Kumar, like I said, the reason why I've included these two in my team of the tournament and in my honorable mentions is because they've got a case where they've really been carrying their bowling attack, and that's why I've really been happy with how both these players have gone. And I'm sure Mayank Markande will continue to have a great season. And finally, Akshar Patel, in a Delhi Capitals side that is, like I said, I didn't think they were as good as people made them out to be, simply because if you look at their Indian batting, I thought, if Prithvi Shaw doesn't score the runs, who's actually going to get the runs? And we've seen their best Indian batsman has been Akshar Patel. He's been an MVP for them this season, gone at just over 7 and over with the ball. Surprisingly, didn't bowl in the game against the Gujarat Titans, apparently due to match-outs, which I thought was a ridiculous thing from the captain. And with a bat, 182 runs, striking at above 130, and a 54 he hit against the Mumbai Indians, you thought gave them a fighting chance in that game, and unfortunately they couldn't get over the line. So he's been an MVP for the Delhi Capitals, and in a season that hasn't really gone well so far, apart from the last two games that they've got the wins, he really has been a shining light in this side. So that is on my team of the tournament and my honorable mentions. And there were a few players that there've been some few players that have done quite well this season as well, but they couldn't get into the 11 in my view ahead of these players. So that's on that. And in tomorrow's game, the Chennai Super Kings are playing against the Rajasthan Royals, and I'll say this again, I hope MS Dhoni chooses to bat first. We saw what he did, relinquishing the advantage. I thought they were favourites in Chennai against the Rajasthan Royals. They relinquished that advantage because of that call at the toss. And I hope MS Dhoni chooses to bat first in this game. The average score is about 157, and it says that teams chasing win more often than batting first. So I hope that he doesn't go by that and choose to chase, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Sanju Samson chooses to chase, considering we have seen him do that in the previous games, which will be an advantage to CSK. So that's on that. Let's see how that game goes, and I think whoever bats first will win the game. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Share the video with friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?